This is the Conscious Hour, and we're going to watch Danny Haifong with my two favorite ex retired military. One's CIA, the other one's a colonel. But listen to the conversation. And Trump, of course, denied knowing anything about this, which is, he never lies. So listen to this, and then I'll give you a few comments that I have relative to the lemmings out there that believe the mainstream media that you're watching. So watch this and check out Danny Haifeng. He does excellent reporting, has excellent interviews. Here we go.
Five jets sailed over Saudi airspace, Syrian airspace to get to Qatar and killed 6 people. Now, Donald Trump has had a very curious response to this. Many were asking what was his involvement in all of this. This was a statement he put on Truth Social. The Trump administration was notified by the U.S. military that Israel was attacking Hamas, which unfortunately was located in a section of Doha, the capital of Qatar. It was a decision made by Prime Minister Netanyahu. It was not made by me. Unilaterally bombing inside Qatar, a sovereign nation and close ally of the U.S. that is working very hard and bravely taking risks with us to broker peace, does not advance Israel or America's goal. He was notified of the strikes. He notified Steve Witkoff immediately that they were occurring, and unfortunately, it was too late to stop the attack. Talk about the significance of this strike from Qatar. What does it reflect about where the situation is, not only when it comes to, of course, Israel's purported plans to occupy Gaza fully, but really the entire region as a whole, and how it reflects on the United States? Trump.
The one thing I'll comment, remember, Qatar gave Trump a $400 million plane. And so you think he wants to piss off those people when they gave him a plane? He wants that plane. So he'll say anything. Listen to the response. It's great.
Is a liar, period. There are two ways that Israel could launch that attack without the United States knowing. The first is no way, and the second is no way in hell. This has been a pattern, and it's not, we can't really pin it directly on Trump. This has been a collaboration between Israeli intelligence and U.S. intelligence. It goes back into the Biden administration, and maybe goes back as far as Trump's first term, where the United States uses the ploy of saying, hey, we're going to have talks with you. So be at this location at this date and this time. And so when the foreign suckers show up, they can be killed. We saw a version of that with General Soleimani during Donald Trump's first term. We saw another version of it with the murder of Sheikh Nasrallah, the head of Hezbollah, by the Israelis. But they, again, were meeting, the Hezbollah leadership was meeting to consider a U.S. peace proposal. We saw a version of that again with respect to the Iran meeting, getting prepared for a meeting with U.S. officials, and then 2 days before that meeting, they were hit by Israelis. We saw a version of it in Russia with the attacks that took place on June 1st in Russia. We saw it with Hania. The Iranians, the Palestinians, and now the Gulfies, they need to give up their Western cell phones. Get rid of Apple, get rid of Samsung. They need to go Huawei. I think Huawei may be the only secure solution, because what happens is the United States basically gets to set the time and place of the meeting. And that's what happened here, that these Hamas officials were gathered to consider a proposal from Donald Trump for ending the war. They had their cell phones. Now, the story they're putting out is, oh, we left our cell phones in the office and we went to another room to pray. Yeah, you probably went 200 yards down the street and got into a bunker to pray, because I think that's their cover story they're putting out. I suspect it was actually, they got warned by a foreign intelligence agency that's well disposed towards the Palestinians and towards the Arabs, to say, hey, the Israelis, they're going to come in and they're going to hit you, and the United States is complicit with it. There's no way those Israeli aircraft could have transited Qatar and then hit the site. I mean, right outside is Al Udeid Air Force Base. I don't know about Colonel Wilkerson, but I've been there. Big base. It is the Central Command's, U.S. Central Command's forward headquarters. It is the center where all air operations, drones, planes that throughout the region going up into Turkey, they're coordinated out of that center right there. So there's no way in hell that the Donald Trump didn't know about this. He absolutely knew about it because he was promised, hey, Mr. President, we're going to go in there. We're going to use the same tactics we used successfully before. We're going to kill all the Hamas leaders, and then they're going to be compelled to negotiate, and you'll be the hero. And Trump goes, okay, yeah, I'll go along with that. But then when it blows up and it doesn't pan out as they claimed, Trump all of a sudden, it looks like Michael Jackson doing the moonwalk backwards. Oh, I didn't know. I didn't find out about this until it happened. It's a lie.
Here is the Qatari prime minister. He comes out with a strong statement, but I'm curious about your assessment of what kind of retaliation could actually be coming to Israel after this attack.
The state of Qatar is committed to act in a decisive way with anything that would target its territories, and will reserve the right to retaliate, and will take all the needed measures to retaliate. And under the directives of His Highness the Emir, the security of the citizens and the residents is our top priority. And based on that, as of tomorrow, God willing, we will review all the policies and the directives in order to deter such actions and measures in the future so that it cannot happen again.
Well, my first remarks have to be what my general remarks are all the time about this situation in its most enormous geopolitical, geostrategic sense. It ain't Israel that's leading us by the nose. It's us using Israel to do our wishes, period. So I won't come at it in any way but that. That means I think Larry is right, but let me put a little bit of a footnote on that. We have this philosophy in the military, which has pretty much taken over now, and I saw it impact us seriously in April of 2001, April 10th, as a matter of fact, when the commander-in-chief, now we call them combatant commanders, in the Pacific overstepped his writ and sent an EP-3, a U.S. reconnaissance plane, slow-moving, too close to Hainan Island, a very militarized portion of China. And up came an F-8 with one of their best pilots in it who got a little bit too close to the EP-3, clipped his own tail off, fell into the South China Sea, and the pilot died. But he so damaged the EP-3, it had to make a forced landing on Hainan Island with a lot of very secure gear on it. And the 24, as I recall, sailors on board were not able to use their thermite grenades and other things quickly enough. And so the plane and some secure gear fell into the Chinese hands. Now, Colin Powell got on that right away and handled it really well, and there wasn't a crisis that resulted from it. It actually started with his cell phone call to the Chinese Leadership Party, which was at that time traveling in South America. And he managed to get Chen Chi-chen, I believe it was, he's dead now, but he was the person in the Chinese hierarchy that knew the most about North America and about the United States. And they worked it out over the cell phone. All to say that.
So what we have is Trump again, duck and cover, like Mr. Indelible, but he's on the wrong side. We're on the wrong side. The U.S. is on the wrong side, but what's new? We've been on the wrong side of every war because we've started every war, Vietnam on. And so the big question we have now is, how do we turn this around? And the only way we can turn it around is by the public, again, keep the pressure on. And you see what Donald Trump's doing in the United States now. He's clearing out anybody that's foreign, could be foreign, and he wants to try to make us a white world. And we got Israel, who's not going to stop. Netanyahu will move forward. He has to remove 2.1 million Palestinians, and they're in the process. of doing it now. So what comes next is a full-scale war. It'll be coming from Iran. I think Egypt will get involved. Qatar, they say they will. Who knows? Lebanon is getting involved. Parts of Syria could be involved. Russians are standing behind Iran. China's behind Iran. India's behind Iran. They have nuclear weapons. We have nuclear weapons. And Bibi has nuclear weapons. And so what's Bibi going to do? He's on a mission, and nobody's going to stop him. And Trump is liable because he's got $500 million, we'll call it $500 billion, pardon me, that is committed to rebuilding that entire region on the first phase. And so he was elected to accomplish that mission for Israel. They keep saying that the Israel is in charge, or U.S. is in charge of Israel. My interpretation is Israel has the goods on the U.S. Israel they can't control, and therefore Bibi is the one that makes decisions, and the U.S. is just going along with it. Well, why? Well, look at Trump. Trump is their asset. He's the one that had a son-in-law, Jared Kushner, who was at Harvard University in the first week of February talking about this beautiful waterfront real estate that's coming. And then he was in Gaza the third week of April of 24 promoting it. So everything's greased, everything's ready to go. And what comes next? Stay tuned, because it'll blow your mind, and it might blow the whole world up. Who knows? If he decides to use nuclear weapons, Bibi does. Thanks for tuning into the Conscious Hour. Please share this with other people. Please donate to the 501c3 for the Conscious Hour. I've never accepted any money, but I've spent, let's put it this way, more than $70,000 of my own money to do this work, to get this word out. Why? Because I'm the keeper of a universal plan that brings the world together. And I've been working on this my whole life, and that's a whole other chapter. Thanks for tuning in. Take care.